Welcome to the Experience Matters podcast with your host, Kent Clothier Sr., and your co-host, Kevin Homel.
Yes, sir.
We've got about 5 minutes left, so probably time for maybe two more questions.
I'll make a couple of quick comments. I purchased my first home, my wife and I here, purchased our first home in February of 2016. So this is the first home we purchased, and this is just in June of the same year, 4 months later, the tenant decided not to pay the rent. So I was actually really impressed. The reason I wanted to speak is I was really impressed with the action that they took pretty immediately to get the eviction process going. And also there were some repairs to be done too during that time, which were done. It took a couple of months to get that going with the repairs, probably longer than I kind of expected, especially my first purchase there. So I was a little bit concerned about that. So, the Memphis Invest, they had no hesitation whatsoever to pick up the cost of that mortgage for the next 2 or 3 months while that was getting done. So I found that extremely impressive. And also I want to mention that a couple of questions in the back. First, I don't know if it's written in the contracts there, but the first 12 months or so, they will repair things that have gone awry in the home. Maybe it's not written exactly in the contract, but they will take on small electrical problems or whatever it is, and they'll take on that cost, which is really impressive. And I don't think anybody else would ever do that. And it's really not an obligation of Memphis Invest at all to do that. Yet you guys have done that, so I think that very, very highly commendable for your company to do that.
Yeah, if it's in the scope of work and the renovation, and something happens in the first year, we eat that. So
Comes back to our core value number one. We're always going to do the right thing. Your particular instance, you might have bought a house and then for whatever reason the tenant got out early and whatever happened. And then they'll bring that to us, and it's just pretty much we're going to do the right thing. Because that's, and I talked to you about that number a little while ago that we write, and that's the cost of doing business. Other property management companies, for the most part, I don't think, gentleman with 6 property back there, would they do that? Probably not. Okay.
Right.
But again, we're in business for a long time, and the things that we do for people in our property management business is going to be there and sustainable for a while, and those types of things are important to us. Now, I don't want everybody in the room to think that we're picking up rent and mortgage payments, because we ain't doing that, all right? But we'll do what we have to do when it's right.
I was so impressed by that the next 10 months I purchased 4 more properties. So I have a total of 5.
There you go.
And then I want to say one more thing about this company in particular, because I research a lot of the different companies. I had opportunity to see a panel of your Memphis Invest versus another property management company up on stage at a different forum, maybe several months back. And you had a great representative of your company, Mark Cobb, was just remarkable. And I'll tell you what he did in that conversation with that other person. He highlighted the differences in his company versus the other, but also educated the audience about what to ask for in a property management company. So not only did he highlight his own company, but also to answer the young lady's question on the right here, what are you looking for in a property management company? A lot of us don't know unless we actually get in there and do that and see what's happening. But really, he gave us specific questions. Ask this property management company this, or ask them this. How many leases do they do? Or is it a 1 year? Is it a 2 year? How often do they keep them in? And he had specific numbers and data. So your company separates itself from another company by saying that you guys are very data driven, and you can back up what you do on the ground with the information, the data, and educate us on how you differentiate yourself. So that was really impressive.
Well, thank you. And Mark has been with us a long, long time. He's one of my probably first 10 employees. He's probably sold over 2,000 houses, and our clients love him. He's a high-energy young man and is very knowledgeable in our business. And I think somebody was telling me about Mark Cobb. We're going to take one more question right here, and then we'll be available down at our office to answer any questions that you may have.
Kent, it's easy to see your track record in Memphis and Texas, but now you're going into new markets. What's the process to ensure that you have the right people in place for property management if we were to invest in a home in Oakland City or Little Rock?
Well, really nothing changes, and the same expectations in all of those markets. They know, for the most part, that I go very slow, and they get a little perturbed with me sometimes because I want to cross all the T's and dot all the I's and make sure everything is done exactly like it. And it's never fast enough for most of our team, including my kids. And if my kids were, we would be in Birmingham, Nashville, Jackson, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, St. Louis, Chicago by now, but I'm just not going to do that. Our first obligation is to our current investors to take care of everything that they have and they own. And then we'll slow walk into Oklahoma City, which is what we're doing, and into Little Rock. And we're licensed real estate agents in both of those markets. Our team understands what the expectations are. They're no different than if the house was in Memphis and Dallas. What we did figure out with the help of Kevin earlier in the year, we now do remote closings where the resident does not have to come to our office. And almost 100% of our closings down here at our Dallas office are done remotely, online. And in Memphis, we're about 80%. In Oklahoma City and Little Rock and Houston, we're going to be 100%. We actually do the rental closings from here, all of the underwriting from here, and we have different people in those markets that will show the houses, and then we'll rent them, and then our rehab teams are on the ground in there, but we actually don't have an employee living in that city right now, either one of them, because I don't want to do that. I'm going to try to figure out how to do this with technology and without having to do that, and still get the same results. But time will tell. Eventually, we'll have to hire somebody in Little Rock as we get closer to 100 properties, and in Oklahoma City with boots on the ground as we get closer to 100 properties. We have 160 properties in Houston. We have one lady, and we're going to hire another person down there now. So you can expect nothing less than what we're already doing in all of those cities. And I can assure you that it'll be that way because our team understands that. That's the only way that they operate. So we're at 0 o'clock.
We're done. Thank you, everybody. Anthony, Freddie, Roy, Doug, thank you guys for being up here. They'll be at the lunch, I believe, if you have questions about their experience. Kent's always said, we're an open book.
It's been our Clothier family, our pleasure to have everybody today. Hopefully you will join us in a few minutes down at our office, and have a great and safe travels wherever you're going today. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Experience Matters. You can listen and subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Be sure to visit us at memphisinvest.com.